Hey guys, it is Fast Past here. I'm gonna go into another Mega Man 9 playthrough because I never finished the game last time. I will only be allowing checkpoints for the start of levels, and the checkpoints can only be used if I need to hop off the game and turn off my computer. Alright, let's get started. Here we have the title screen. I will begin on either Galaxy Man, Concrete Man, or Hornet Man. If you watch my video on the boss walkthrough for this game, you would know that these are the three easiest bosses. And then last time I did Magma Man, which is a terrible idea. So let's do Hornet Man. I would actually say his boss fight is as easy as Concrete Man. Normally at this part, it would be really nice to have Dual Satellite, which I do not have. So, I'm just gonna kind of have to lock in here, especially with these jumps. Okay. The jumps aren't really that hard. You just gotta time them well. And you always overthink it. I'm gonna grab that screw right there. One-ups aren't really that necessary, but they do help on some of the harder levels. Mainly for boss fights, I would say. Because these levels really aren't that hard, not even the Wily levels. I do hate these things, though. There's only 2 of them in the game, and they're probably the hardest part of their respective levels. I say that meanwhile doing it no-hit. I swear, it's just because I'm locked in right now. Normally I would have died already. And then we have this part, of course. Bop. Okay. Being annoying. Oh, great. I did not realize they sucked up like that. I thought it would just end there. Luckily the checkpoint is right here. Okay, successfully despawned it, and that's the end of that section. If not for more scissors. Made it to this section, and these aren't close enough to shoot anything, thankfully. The first thing I'm going to want to buy is that weapon energy balancer, because it's permanent. You'll never lose it, not even in a game over. Actually, it's impossible to lose it. But that's very good because it lets you pick up weapon energy from multiple items, I'm pretty sure, at the same time. This is a pretty good grinding spot right here. The best grinding spot I would say is on Wily 1, which we'll get to somewhat later in the playthrough. But we made it to the boss with 3 lives, which is very good. This is the strategy I'm talking about. You just gotta kill these hornets. And just kind of spam them. You can just spam them very well. His only moves are the hornets and walking, essentially. Sometimes I miss the hornets, which just kind of makes a chain reaction of me not being able to hit him. So there goes the first life. I think the trick is to get the lower Bs done with really quickly, and then you can just focus on the third B, which is really hard to reach until it starts moving. So I've already gone pretty much no hit here. Okay. Okay, I really messed up there. This Hornet's annoying. But just 1 health left, and we have defeated Hornet Man. The boss we will fight after this is going to be, give it a try, that way we'll be able to beat Concrete Man a little bit easier. First instance of these little squid guys. 1 up if I go to the left, but I did not. Thankfully, if you get a game over in this game, you can always start from the level that you got the game over. There's these bubbles in this level, and you can only be on the small bubbles for about a second, but you can be on the big bubbles permanently. There's a couple of sharks, or not sharks, narwhals in this section. We will actually want to go back over here though, because there is an item at the top. I just remembered that. Yes, a screw. Then we can just retreat back down. I would consider this game to be the easiest game except for Mega Man 2. It's just very straightforward, and the boss weapons are pretty overpowered. Just the way the game is. Here's another situation where I would want some of the items. However, I think that Rush Jet actually works very well in the section after this. So this is the section I'm talking about here. But you don't actually get Rush Jet until, I believe, Galaxy Man? I could be wrong about that. It also might be Magma Man. So yeah, that is why I wouldn't normally go here, but I can just play the game like normal and do some of this platforming. And this is the part where I would actually need to use Rush Jet. This part is very difficult. Except, of course, I do it first try because every time I say something's difficult, I just humble myself. And that was Splash Woman's level. Pretty short. But then we get to the boss fight, in which we should equip Hornet Chaser, which is the weapon we got last level. And you gotta kind of time it because she has a pretty long invincibility frame. The attacks are actually pretty easy. You just have to deal. The hardest part is the Trident. But the Trident, even then, it's not that difficult. Since we have completed Splash Woman, we can go back to the usual start, which would be Concrete Man. Excluding for Gravity Man stage, I would consider Concrete Man to just be all around the easiest level. Gravity Man is excluded because it's almost funny how easy the level is. Definitely made to be the first level. I believe Capcom intended for Concrete Man and Gravity Man to both be like good candidates for the first level. This is by far the hardest part of the Concrete Man level, just because you have to time yourself very well. The first two are fine, it's just the third one that's really difficult. I say that as I get hurt by Adele. This part has all these little holes, and paired with the suction, it's very difficult. This part is pretty fun. It's kind of like a rush. You just have to go between these little grassy guys, more like trees. It's hard to describe them. And then it kind of shows us these little levitation blocks and gravity blocks, which is pretty easy to deal with, and we made it to the boss. Even though I have his weakness, I'm going to attempt this boss Buster only, because he's just that easy. I'm just that good. I hate when he does that jump, because then it means he's about to do concrete. And especially when he does it that close, it's very hard to deal with. And now I'm one hit. I do not like that move at all. And I beat it Buster only. Next in the boss order is Galaxy Man. This meta is probably my least favorite part of the level. You gotta time it well, but we dealt with it anyway. Just use a laser trident for the run. Deals with these guys very well, because it can pierce. For this, you would normally need Rush Jet, which we don't have, sadly. But I think you can also use Rush Coil. Yep. All things considered, it is a pretty long level. If I remember correctly, there was a little guy around here somewhere. Nope, yep. And I will go ahead and refill my stuff real quick. Just edge a little bit. We will grab, let's see, Rush Coil. No reason to, I just like to be full when I can. And I believe this is the last part of the level. Gotta time it pretty well. There we go. Cool strategy that I found out recently, just by kind of playtesting here. So if we wait for this little guy, we can do that. Just spam with Concrete Shot without anything to worry about. Because you can lock this guy in and kill him very easily. And there we got the little chainsaw thing, which I normally get at Jewel Man. But this is my third boss, so it actually makes sense. Or no, this is my fourth boss. Because I did Hornet Man, Splash Woman, Concrete Man, and then Galaxy Man. And Jewel Man would normally be my third boss, so I'm not sure what the deal is with the little saw-looking thing. Looks like we made a cool shape at the stage select where the 4 corners are blacked out and the 4 cardinal directions are still here. The next boss in the line is Jewel Man. This boss level by far has the best track in the game, or at least one of the best tracks in this game. I'll go ahead and use, actually no, I want to save that for the boss. I'll use a Laser Trident for this one. Little strategy with these guys. I used to think you had to wait for it to swing like this, but you can actually just do this. Barely waiting at all, actually. And this jump is pretty difficult. I just kind of like to inch my way in. And this boss is this is probably the hardest mini boss of the game. Especially this first round, because you have to know where it is. And you can't know where it is until you see that little dust falling off. So I know to stay away from there a little bit. And he's gone to this one right here. And that was a pretty easy boss fight. Mini boss fight. Switching back to Laser Trident here for these jewels. Still got hit because I'm not very good at dodging in this game. I think I'll actually go Buster only with these guys. This is a pretty tight jump, but you just gotta kind of not worry about it, and then you can get it done. This is by far the hardest jump in the game, I would say. And so I'm gonna have to kind of look at it here. Oh. A little problem with this is that if you move while it's moving. Ow. Finally made that jump. It is very difficult. You gotta time a jump like this. You gotta do that while you're moving, calculating not to jump into the spikes. I currently only have 1 life left, which is really 2 lives, because once you get to 0-0, you can still go 1 more time. It's more like extra lives. So I'm gonna have to kind of... Definitely... Okay, maybe this is a harder jump. Nope. You have less to lose. It's harder to die, because you just get caught by the little thing. I'm gonna go ahead and use Hornet Chasers on these guys. This boss is a joke if you have Galaxy Bomb, and otherwise it's probably the hardest boss other than Magma Man and Plug Man. Let's do that, and then do that, and that. It's gotta keep pause buffering. Okay, it turns out you get Rush Jet on Jewel Man, not Magma Man like I thought. This level is actually pretty easy with Jewel Satellite. I know that you have to use it for the boss, but if you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of it here and just do Buster for the rest of the boss fight, you're good. Here, I'll get this item with Hornet Chaser. Fetch that, please. Right there. Right there. It says right there. There we go. Hornets don't know how to listen nowadays. I don't know why I tried to use Rush Coil there. I'm a little bit daft for doing that. For this guy right here, I'm just gonna have to use some more Hornets. Thankfully I have Rush Jet, so I can just kind of cheat here. Oh, didn't even matter. Cheating never gets you far in life. I'm gonna go ahead and get the energy balancer. And here comes the the block section that I tried to cheat and didn't work. This part right here is kind of hard. You just gotta keep running, pretty much. Now I'm full with 1-ups. And we made it to the even worse section. And we made it. Just gotta go up here, and as usual, I was gonna do Hornets, but actually Black Hole Bomb will work fine here. And we'll just have to Rush Coil, so let me get rid of this guy. Oh no. Nobody. We'll go ahead and grab this guy right here. I might as well spawn that guy too. Now this is the part where I really need to use Jewel Satellite. That and one more part after this. It's almost impossible to get hurt if you just do this. Jewel Satellite is pretty overpowered in this game. And we'll do it one more time. Just part is really easy to overthink. And sadly, I overthought it. Here we're gonna do a little bit of farming. I don't think these guys drop anything, sadly. So we're going to have to defeat Jewel Man with only a little bit of our Jewel Satellite. I might actually reset my health first. Okay, that's it for that, so I'm just gonna do some Hornets. Very nice. Next is Tornado Man, then Mega Man, then we'll move on to the Wily levels next episode. Let me just make sure that this strategy still works. Or I shouldn't say still works, but works in the first place. Yep. You can just kind of keep jumping to remain at the same side. Man, that's annoying. There we go. Completed that part, and then I think there's a part where you have to do it in the wind, if I'm not mistaken. No, that's far after this part. No. I'm just gonna kind of be a scaredy cat and do that. I don't like slippery ice, I just jump everywhere. Some health, but I don't need that, so I'll save that for later. Actually, that's kind of useless to save it for later, because it's right after dying that you would get that. So, I only did that because I don't have full health. Here's the windy part, right here. Gotta kind of go to the edge before jumping. These clouds, you can stand on them, thankfully. And this one's really far. Gotta go on the cloud here, and then just keep jumping, I guess. And here's the part where you have to go on these batteries in the wind. I call them batteries because they kind of look like batteries, their shape. You actually have to be going left to get more right. if you know what I mean. The battery has to go left before you can get some more right stuff. Like that. And I'm way at the edge. Not way at the edge, but I'm on the edge there. And now the wind is in the other direction. Which is actually makes it easier. Usually. I believe you would want Rush Coil right here. I'll take all the 1-ups that I can get. And I'll kind of clear out all these umbrellas. Get that little screw right there. And I died. I think I should probably have used Rush Coil right there. It's way easier to jump. Come on. Gotta time this really good. I like these parts where it's no clouds because then you can see all the umbrellas. Okay, 2 lives. Made it to the boss fight with 2 lives. That's very good. Onto the sky, launches tornadoes, and then it's gonna start jumping. Very far, actually. Further than I thought it would. And finally, Magma Man. Still used to the slippery, I can just kind of walk here. 3 screws. Can't complain. And I know this jump isn't that hard, but I'm a scaredy cat, so too bad. You may wonder why I'm not using the black hole bomb, and you'll see later in this level. And this is why I did not use any black hole bomb, even when I probably could have, because there was a little item energy. This is the best thing for these little dragon mini bosses, except Tornado Blow, which obviously I'm saving for the boss. And Plug Ball is really good for these little guys. That's what I use in both instances that they come in the game at these 2 levels. This and Wily 1. And here is the first 1-up, I believe, of the level. And I'm just gonna iframes that. I do have, okay, I have 3 lives, good. Kind of be a scaredy cat about this one too, and just kind of concrete it. Better safe than sorry, especially with weapons you don't really need at the time. You actually need to use Concrete Shot twice in this game, I believe. And you can use it more. It's a little bit easier if you use it more on Wily 1. I'm gonna go ahead and just have a Hornet do my dirty work. There we go. Gotta use plug balls. Forgot. I did not think that jump was gonna be as hard as it was. Rush Jet here. I could also use Tornado Blow, but again, don't want to waste that. Oh, there's a little guy right here. Oh, take that health. Take all I can get. Oh, very good farming spot right here. Seem to drop a lot of items. Yep. And just like that, I'm at full health. Oh, I did not realize he could still use this weapon when it was burnt out. And just like that, we made it to the Wily levels. Well, we have made it to the Wily levels, but I'm not going to complete those in this video. I will complete it in the next video. But I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the episode where we get some of the Wily levels done. Bye.